Ho, ho, ho. Look, here I am. Oh my God. Brad says I'm on gay people time. How dare you? I am, in fact, not. I am here just a couple of minutes late. What can I say? I struggled. I'm using a different laptop than I usually do, so I'm using a different one. Anyway, happy holidays, everybody. Here I am in my Santa hat, ready to talk to you about all of our upcoming cruises and answering your questions. It's good to have everybody back joining us again. You know what? It's Saturday, but it's already been a day. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, so thanks for coming. We do these Derek and Remain cruises. We've been doing them for 11 years now. Had a little bit of a blip there in the middle, but we do usually 2 or 3 cruises a year, and we love to.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Oh my God! Why is Siri trying to chat with me? Okay, Lord. Okay, you know what? We do better on the sea than we do on land. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, so I am here to tell you about all of our upcoming cruises. Be a hot mess while it's all going on, obviously, but thrilled to have those of you with us who are here live, and then those of you who are watching recorded. Everything went very smoothly. You don't have anything to worry about. Okay, so we have a bunch of upcoming cruises that I wanted to talk to everyone about. So we are doing our Bear Soup cruise with Tom Goss in February of next year. I will just say it's a 4-day out of Tampa. There may be an opportunity for people to join us last minute if they want to. However, I will just say that our group pricing has expired on that sailing, and the pricing is significantly higher than what our group price was. So if you're interested in a last minute deal, there may be an opportunity, maybe 4 or 5 weeks out from the sailing, which is coming up soon. And I'd be happy to let people know if they want to join us for that. But Remain gets mad at me when I try to tell people not to go with us because I think the price is too high. But in this case, I think even you would look at the prices and go, oh, yeah, for a 4-day, that's too much. But if you would like to be on sort of a wait list for that, if you're in Florida, in the Tampa area, and you would like to hop on at the last minute, if there's some good last minute pricing, you can obviously fill out the form and I will let you know. I have like 3 people on the wait list now, but that'll be a lot of fun with Tom Goss, singing and dancing and having a great time. Then in March of next year, we are sailing out of New Orleans on the Norwegian Getaway for 7 days in the Western Caribbean. This is a great cruise. We got a lot of people who are booked on that. Prices are still good for that if you have people who want to join us last minute. You can also come to New Orleans the weekend beforehand, in the March 28th to 29th frame. So even if you don't want to go on a cruise, but you want to get away for the weekend, we have a good discount block of hotel rooms there in New Orleans. So you could just come for the weekend, see the listeners, hang out, and then wave goodbye while we go and have a good time for a week and you go back to work. That's going to suck. But there is still space available there on that cruise. If you'd like to hop on, that will be a lot of fun. Romaine is celebrating her birthday. She never stops talking about. So you can absolutely do that if you want to. And then we have, hold on, sorry. People are chatting. So I'm trying to look at the chat while people are doing it, but they don't have any questions at the moment. But anyway. Then we are doing a transatlantic on Virgin Voyages. That's on May 3rd. There are great prices on that. Obviously, you have to take a lot of time off from work because it's a 15-day sailing, a Saturday to Sunday, leaving out of Miami and ending in Barcelona. However, the price, basically, you pay for 2 weeks the price that you would normally pay for 1 week. So it is a great deal if you can get that kind of time off from work. Virgin is a credible onboard experience. We really love Virgin. I think the biggest sticking point for some members of our group is that the drink package is not included on Virgin. So they have some concerns about how much they drink and what the additional cost will be. I think the prices on board for their premium coffee drinks or for their alcohol is actually fairly reasonable. But I understand people are on a budget. But the onboard experience, it is very gay, very welcoming. And I think that especially for gay couples who want to be able to go on a cruise where they can, hold hands by the pool and, have other PDA, you will feel a lot more comfortable and confident on Virgin. So that's a strong recommend. The ship will also not be full, so I don't expect any like wait times at restaurants or anything else. I think that's going to be a lovely leisurely time. We have a small group on that sailing, so it'll be more intimate than our usual DNR groups, but that's all right. You'll have a lot of time with Derek and Romaine while we're doing the transatlantic part of the crossing. So I think you'll enjoy that. And then come this fall, October 11th, or next year, we are going to Hawaii. And we're very excited about our Hawaii trip. It's a Saturday to Saturday sailing. And when we come back, that Saturday, October 18th, is Honolulu Pride. So it'll be a great week of seeing the Hawaiian Islands, and then we will end at Honolulu Pride. So for people who want to stay over an extra day in Hawaii, that will be a great opportunity to, get your gay on in Honolulu. And how often are you going to be in Honolulu for Pride? So it should be a lot of fun. We have a limited number of discount cabins on that because it has sold really well and we don't have a lot of discount space available. But if you would like to go, I would encourage people to go. The NCL Hawaii cruise is an incredible way to see Hawaii if you've never been before, because you go to, I think, 4 different islands, and every day you're off the ship in a different island. So you really get a great sense of Hawaii as a destination. So if you haven't been before, it's a great way to see the different islands. They're have their own unique character to them. And it's great to just sort of see the whole thing, get a good sense. And if you really love it, you can come back and, spend a few days in Maui if you want to, or head back to Honolulu for more time, whatever you want. But I'm a big proponent of the Hawaii cruise as an entryway into seeing Hawaii, especially for first-time travelers. So that is a great experience. Then we move on into 2026. We have our Love and Joy cruise, which is leaving out of Cape Canaveral in February of 2026, and it ends on President's Day weekend. So what's great about that is if you want to spend some time at Universal or at Walt Disney World before or after the cruise, especially after the cruise because it's a long holiday weekend, that is a great way to go. We haven't done this itinerary since 2017, which was the largest DNR cruise we ever did on the Epic, which is a horrible ship. But we did that in 2017 and had an incredible time. Great itinerary, great ports, and pretty convenient to get from Orlando to Cape Canaveral. So that's going on in February of 2026. That is, of all the cruises that we have, that cruise has the best pricing, really, really great prices. So if you are wanting to try a DNR cruise and you're on a bit of a budget, you can get the most bang for your buck on our Love and Joy cruise in February of 2026. And then in April of 2026, we just announced that we are doing an 8-day ABC island cruise in the Southern Caribbean. This is a Saturday to Sunday sailing on the Celebrity Silhouette. This is a fantastic itinerary because the islands that are included are the most difficult to get to in the Caribbean, and they are really spectacular. Aruba and Bonaire and Curacao. And they're really beautiful islands. They are less traveled by tourists, and that will be a wonderful experience. And Celebrity has a wonderful onboard experience as well. We've sailed with them before. If you've never sailed with Celebrity, but you have status, like premium status on another cruise line, they do have a status match that Celebrity does that we can request. So if you're, for instance, platinum on Norwegian, it would be matching with their elite status on Celebrity. And the same thing with like Royal Caribbean, if you already have status on Royal and you want to switch over to Celebrity. So that is a great incentive as well for sailing. I think the best price and cabin that we have, excuse me, for the ABC cruise on Celebrity is the concierge level. Those cabins, it's a balcony cabin in the concierge category. The price is only about $140 or $160 more total than a balcony cabin. And you get a lot of additional sort of perks and whiz bang that goes along with it. So I think if you really want to indulge yourself on a wonderful 8-day sailing, it's a round trip from Miami, so very convenient to get to and from. And that is going to be an incredible cruise, and we've just announced that. So feel free to check that out at dnrtravel.com. Then we have a space open later in 2026 where we have not made a determination of what we will be doing later in the year. If it will be another Norwegian cruise or if it will be a Virgin cruise. We've been talking to another group that wants to do a cruise. So we're kind of waiting on their plans, and then maybe we will be on the ship at the same time with them. So we have that. So we'll let you know down the road, TBD, what we're going to do later in the fall of 2026. And then in February of 2027, we are doing the Mexican Riviera on the Encore. And this sails out of Los Angeles. And this is a popular sailing. Whenever we do it, it is a very popular sailing. It's a lot of fun. The prices are great. The drinks are included. It's very convenient to get in and out of Los Angeles. I know a lot of our people are on the West Coast, so super easy to pop in and out of LA and do this cruise. And we are going to be doing the cruise with other podcast hosts. So not only will you have our regular DNR entertainment like Romain's Karaoke and all that kind of stuff, but we will also have other shows that will be on board that will be doing live shows that will be recording on board the ship, the way that we do our listener panel. So there will be even more entertainment on board, even more people to see and hang out with, and even some different people from different show audiences who will be on board. So we think you will enjoy that as well. Brad in the chat room is asking who else will be on board. We will be announcing that over the next few weeks of who else is going to be going on the cruise with us. But the shows that we are talking to, I think that they are definitely shows that our audience is also listening to or engaging with. So I think you will enjoy it. And then the last cruise that we have announced, which is really a real barn burner here, is Japan. So we are going to Japan in April of 2027. And this cruise is a 9-day. We leave from Seoul, Korea, and then it ends in Tokyo in Japan, leaving on April 1st of 2027 for 9 days. And we are sailing on the Norwegian Jade. We have good pricing on this cruise, and it's pretty far out. So for long-range planning, this is a good cruise to plan for. But I will say we already have had a tremendous response here on this cruise, and we cannot get more discount balcony space than we have. So the discount balcony space that we have on Japan is already almost sold out. I mean, I have people who have contacted us or whatever that they haven't booked yet. But if all of those people book, I think we have maybe 3 or 4 balcony cabins left. So what I'm saying is, obviously I don't want people who are on the fence to book and then take this space and then we won't have it for other people who really want to go. But I am saying don't wait too long. Now there will be other space available on the ship and we will be able to book you, but our group space has a 5 to 15% discount off of NCL rates. So we will be able to book you in a balcony cabin, but it won't be 15% off. So if you are price conscious in that way, then, that's, could be a significant amount of money. So I'm just saying that don't sleep on this cruise, because almost certainly by the end of this week, we will be sold out of our balcony space on that cabin, on that cruise. And we've never had a situation like this before. I'm going to contact Norwegian to see if they can contact the revenue department to see if we can get a little more balcony space in there. But if you want to do ocean view space, which actually I recommend. We're going to be in port every single day. So, you'll still get sunlight and everything. You just won't have a balcony to walk out onto. But we have great pricing there on ocean view space, and we do have availability in ocean view. So if you don't need a balcony, you can still go get a great price. And the ocean view cabins are like more than $2,000 less than a balcony cabin. So if you don't think you're going to use the balcony when you're in port every single day, then it probably you'd probably be just fine in an ocean view. So consider that as an option for Japan. But while we are in Japan, they do have a Disney park in Tokyo, Tokyo Disneyland, and the Disney Sea Park. I have been to Tokyo Disneyland, and it is a great experience. I've been to Japan before, and it is really incredible. We will be there during sort of the peak of cherry blossom season. So the Imperial Gardens should be absolutely incredible. And if Japan has ever been on your bucket list, or even anywhere in Asia, this is a great way to experience it, because there will be a lot of other people who will be there. And so if you're nervous about international travel and what if I get lost? What if nobody speaks English? The great thing with traveling with a group is there will be other people around. But there's quite a bit of English speaking in Japan. So it's not, sorry, it's not as bad as other parts of the world where if you don't speak the language, you are really going to be lost. Japan has quite a bit of English speakers there. Obviously, because of our entwined history with them over the last 80 years, there is quite a bit of English speaking that goes on. But we will have our group there, and a cruise is a great way to see a country like Japan, because you really get to see a lot of the country. You're on the ship and then you move from port to port. As I said, we're in port every single day. So it's 9 days on that ship and you will be in 9 ports. So you will really see a lot of Japan. You'll be able to see Kyoto and Mount Fuji, and then we end up in Tokyo. So you can spend a day or two in Tokyo. I will just say that Tokyo was a real revelation for me, because I've been to New York City many times. I lived in Los Angeles. And when I went to Tokyo, I was like, oh, just because you have a giant world city, it doesn't mean it has to be loud, dirty, and rude. You can actually have a gigantic, busy world city that is clean and quiet and friendly. So I think that you will enjoy Tokyo and all of Japan. It's a beautiful country, and just a really wonderful experience. But our discount space is limited here. So if you want to go and you want to get the best price, I definitely recommend booking that. All right, let me see if there are any other things in here other than people saying that they really need to know. But Eileen says Japan is awesome. Brad wants to know if the other podcasters who will be on board the ship are more or less famous than DNR. I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends on what you consider famous. I think that they are certainly on our level, but they're all shows that have like a good following, because we would not recommend they do a group cruise if they didn't have the kind of following that would actually book on a cruise. So there you go. What is happening? Jason and Dan says, for the Hawaii 2025 cruise, how many cruise first can be applied to a 2-bedroom suite versus a standard balcony? The cruise first or cruise next would be the same for a suite or a standard balcony cabin. So with cruise first, you can only apply 1. With cruise next, you can usually apply 2, and then sometimes they have a triple up promotion where you can apply 3. But cruise first, 1. Uno, cruise first, which is why cruise next is a little bit of a better deal. Also, they don't expire anymore, so you don't have to worry if you don't immediately have another cruise that is planned. Okay. So I will just say, for those of you who have never sailed with us before, just a little bit of information about our, it's like how it all works. But if people have specific questions, they can post them here. I did get a question before on Facebook about Japan, if we would have host hotel recommendations in Japan. So we definitely will have we'll probably have a hotel in Korea for the night before we sail, because I think a lot of people will be coming in a day early just so that they can get a bit of Seoul. And then in Tokyo, we will have a hotel in Tokyo. A lot of people are going to want to do Disney. We will explore options to stay at the Disney park, but from my own experience of being in Japan, it's very similar to Paris. There is a subway line in Tokyo that takes you directly to the park. So it's pretty convenient to just, especially if you're planning on staying in Tokyo for 2 or 3 days and you're only planning on doing 1 or 2 days at Disneyland, you can just stay in Tokyo and then ride the train to the park and then come back. And then that way you're not moving around from hotel to hotel. But some people like a Disney hotel experience. So if that's you, we'll definitely explore that as well. But if you have other questions and you're watching live, you can post in the thing. For people who have not sailed with us before, it's pretty straightforward. You go to dnrtravel.com, you check out the different cruises we have. There's a cruise form to fill out with all of your information. Keep in mind when you put your name in there, there's a place to put in your nickname. Please put your legal name as it appears on your passport because that is required for building a profile before you on any of the cruise lines. You can fill out the form. It does not commit you to booking the cruise, but you can fill out the form and just say, I would like more information, or how does this work? And I will contact you. Usually within like 48 hours. Sometimes it's been pretty busy this week with all the Japan things. So I'm like two days behind everybody. Sorry about that. I try to get back to people as quickly as possible on the cruises, but you fill out the form with Norwegian and with our celebrity cruise. The deposits are refundable. Virgin, the deposits are not refundable, but you can request that it can be turned into a future voyage credit to be used on another cruise within a year of the sail date. But in general, we like to have it be a situation where people are not, they're not going to lose money if they end up not being able to go. Now, generally, all of these cruises, though, you want to check the cancellation policies. Generally, there are penalties on these cruises for changes or cancellations within 120 days of sailing, which is, after our final payments. Generally our deposits are refundable. So there really is, if you're thinking, I don't know where I'm going to be in February of 2027, I don't know that I want to book a cruise as far out. You don't have to worry about if your plans change, then you'll be able to get your deposit back for most of the cruises. If this is a concern for you, you can ask me about it specifically before you book, and I will let you know what it is. But all the cruise lines have their cancellation policy online. But you fill out the cruise form. We'll pick out a cabin for you. We always try to get the best price possible for you. With a lot of our cruises, we have discount pricing with our celebrity cruise and with our Norwegian cruise. In our sort of standard categories, like a balcony cabin, we get a discount off of what the published rates are. So we do try to get people the best price. But I will say, we can't always get you the best price and the best perks on every single cruise. And part of that is the way that the companies work with groups. Sometimes with the groups, if you're in a super, super cheapy inside cabin, sometimes the perks are less generous in the group than they are in general, but you are getting to spend a week with Derek and Romaine, and we have all these onboard events and everything else. So aren't we the perk? But for the most part, as you can tell, I'm very price conscious. I really try to figure out the best cruise, best price for our audience that I can. Sometimes people get really good deals on these cruises. So I do try to get the best price. And if they're, like with our cruises coming up in February of 2027 on Norwegian, if there is a price drop in the interim, I can reprice people to the better price when I see it. So there really is not a reason not to book early. And as we saw with Japan, with our group space selling out so early. Waiting a long time is not the best strategy if you really want to go or if you really want to save. So the best prices are early. Book early, you'll get the best price, and that is the best strategy. Brad says the discount code is cheap lesbian. Nope, the discount code is just I'm booking with Derek and Romaine, and I do my best. Also, there is a recommendation here for inviting friends and family. I think that the DNR cruise experience, because we're a small group on a larger ship, it is actually a really great cruise to do with extended friends and family. So if, for instance, your family really wants to do some kind of cruise, but you're like, oh, do I really want to spend 7 days with my whole family? A DNR cruise is a great way because one, if they're booking in standard categories like balcony cabins, they're going to save, up to 15% off the price. So that's great for your family. They don't have to hang out with our group or do our group activities. They can just enjoy the ship and all the other things. But you'll also have an outlet while you're on board, other people to see and hang out with that are not your family. But we have lots of people who sail with their extended friends and family with DNR, and they have a great time because they really do get to have sort of the best of both worlds. So I definitely recommend that. And if you're a solo traveler, it is a very friendly group. Norwegian has specifically priced cabins for solo travelers. And it's a good experience for a solo traveler. If you're new to cruising, if you're a solo traveler, this is an A+ experience because you really have people holding your hand the whole way and people to hang out with while you're on board. You will probably not get bored. You'll probably not get lost, but I cannot guarantee either of those things. Okay. I don't see any other questions here, but I will just say from a price standpoint, strong recommend of Love and Joy. That has the best pricing of any of the cruises that we have. And then the transatlantic on Virgin also has great pricing just from a volume standpoint because it's 2 weeks long. And then the Live Love podcast Mexican Riviera cruise that we're doing in February of 2027. Those are our best priced cruises. And then I will say that we have a really good group rate for Celebrity. It's a little more expensive than Norwegian, but especially in the concierge category, you're really getting a lot of bang for your buck there and what is included in the price. So definitely worthwhile. And there is a question from Mark about if a solo traveler wants a balcony. So Norwegian has recently put in solo categories for ocean view and balcony for solo travelers. So sometimes the price is better in our group block to go as a solo traveler in a double occupancy balcony or ocean view because of our discount. Sometimes the price is better if you go into their solo balcony or ocean view space. I always book people in the best price. So if you are a solo traveler and you would like a balcony, I will price out both of those options. You may be thinking, oh, well, what is the real difference between, the group cabin versus this solo cabin? There really isn't a difference, except that it's just the way that Norwegian deals with the cabin is different. But if you book a solo balcony cabin with us and I move that into our group, the ship will consider you part of the group. We consider you part of the group. You'll get your name tag and your bag and all the other swag that goes with doing a DNR cruise and all of our events and everything else. So don't think about it as being different because it really is only different from the back end from my point of view in how the cruise line manages it. But you will have the same experience that anyone will have in the group. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. Okay, great. Well, I think this has been extremely informative. I do think if you have never gone on a DNR cruise before and you are curious about the experience, we have a DNR cruise Facebook group. And you know what? You just post in there and tell everyone your story. I'm newly single and I would like to meet new people, but I don't know how this group is going to be. Or, I want to go on a gay cruise, but my parents also want to go. Will it be weird if my parents are on the ship at the same time? You can post those questions in the DNR cruise group, and people will be happy to give you their unvarnished opinion about our cruise experience. But the vast majority of people who sail with us once sail with us again. I think we give a great experience. I am very price conscious. Just like our DNR show, still $6.95 after all these years. I am a big believer in, the nexus of price and value. And I think that really, especially like a gay cruise experience, I think we have the best value to price ratio of any LGBTQ themed cruise that's available out there. I've done a lot of the other cruises. I know what they offer. Kylie Minogue will not be performing on our cruises. And I get that if that's what you really want by the pool, well, you're going to pay some extra cheddar for that experience for sure. But if what you want is a great time on the ocean, making friends, hanging out, seeing new places, and having a great time, we are the way to go. So there you go. But feel free to get started at dnrtravel.com if you have any questions. We also book individual travel outside of our groups. So if you just want to go on a cruise with you and your friends and family, or just on your own, and you want some expert advice, I'm happy to help you out. We don't book every cruise line. But if it is a cruise line that we don't book, like for instance, we don't do group cruises on Carnival. But Survivor Sex Dan, who works for Carnival, and even if you want to book a Carnival cruise, you let me know. I will hook you up with Dan, and he will take extremely good care of you. So if it is a cruise line that we don't work with, or I don't have a lot of experience with, I will refer you to a cruise professional who will help you out, that I know and trust. It's not there to undermine our business in any way. But we have good relationships with other people who do other extended travel. So if we can't do it, I will send you to somebody who does. So there you go. All right. And Dan points out that I have booked him and Stephen in New Jersey on a different Japan cruise that's coming up next summer. So if you want to go to Japan sooner, there is a Japan cruise next summer that has good pricing. You won't get Cherry Blossoms, you won't get Derek and Romaine, but we can book you there, and there are other DNR people who will be on that ship. We also have a bunch of people who are going on different Virgin sailings. That if you really want to do Virgin, we have some sailings that other people are booked on, even though we don't have a larger group. But if you want to see other DNR people, there's a Greek Island Glow, a couple of people who are doing that in 2025. And some people are doing an Iceland sailing in the fall of 2025. So definitely reach out to me, and I can connect you with other people who will be on these cruises. So it will not be our full group experience, but you'll still see people that you can hang out with a bit while you're on board the ship. All righty. I think that's it. Brad says, why not do both Japan cruises? Sure. Go to Japan in the summer of 2025 and go back to Japan in April of 2027. Japan is incredible. If you can go more than once, you should. It's really great. We did years ago, we did it around the world, where we went to 4 Disney parks around the world. We started in Los Angeles at Disneyland, and then we flew to Japan, then we did the parks there, and then we flew from Japan to Paris, and then we went from Paris to Orlando, and talk about a culture shock. Anyway, then we went from Orlando back to Los Angeles, and it was an incredible time. And Japan had not been on my bucket list, but I was like, well, we're going around the world. Let's see the world. And Japan ended up being my favorite part of the trip. It is just a really spectacular destination. And I just think, it's a long flight. It is definitely worth the trip. But contact me for more details, what I'm saying. Okay. There you go, everybody. Thanks for coming to the live version of this. And for those of you who are not watching live, I'm sorry you missed it. Ding, 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 ding. I don't even know which side of my face this is. Happy holidays, and we will see you soon on a DNR cruise. Thanks for coming. Bye.